Something horrible arrived when the rain did. Story by you/Elias Witherow. I'm visiting my brother's cabin in Washington State. He let me come here after my divorce, get away from all the nonsense and clear my head for a couple weeks. It's beautiful out here, the quaint little hut exactly what I had been expecting. It's surrounded by dense forest and you have to take a long dirt road to reach it. It's wonderful. Before I arrived, my brother informed me that he had stocked the hut with groceries, enough to last a month if I decided I wanted to stay that long. He was leaving it up to me, knowing what hell my breakup had been. I had lost almost everything, and as a gesture of goodwill, he had extended a hand and offered his cabin to me. It was a welcome sanctuary, and upon arrival, I found myself blissfully calm. The woods were alive with sound, the creak of wood, the gentle rustle of wind through the leaves, the chirp of birds in conversation. It was all so serene. The first couple days were wonderful and I felt like I could finally breathe again. The horrible legal battle I had been engaged in with my wife had taken the wind out of my sails, but out here I let the warm breeze envelope me with new life and energy. To my surprise, it had been beautiful the first couple days, the gentle golden rays of sunlight filtering through the canopy of green overhead. The first 3 days I spent a lot of time walking through the woods, isolated from everything and everyone. I was alone out here, a stranger to the surrounding green kingdom. I let my mind wander free from the chains it had been bound with, my thoughts drifting towards what I would do with my new life. Possibilities began to blossom before me and I actually started discovering hope in my future again. But then the rain came. I had heard on the news that a 7-day storm was headed my way, so it came as no surprise when the sky darkened. As a resident of Washington, I was no stranger to long bouts of rain, and this was no different. I had just finished eating dinner when the rain started, gentle pitter-patters on the roof that eventually evolved into a full-blown gale. I started a fire and pulled a chair up to the window, watching the storm. It was cozy and I found peace in watching the chaos that I was protected from. And then I heard something on the roof. I cocked my ear to listen, the small cabin lit only by the glow of the fireplace. At first I thought it was just the rain, but after a few moments, I realized it sounded like someone was running around up there. I didn't know what to make of it, assuming it had to be some kind of animal, but it sounded much bigger. I grabbed the blanket off of the chair I was sitting in and pulled it up to my chin, creeped out by the noise. After a little bit, the sound stopped. My heart was in my throat and my eyes darted to the front door. Thunder boomed overhead and I suddenly felt incredibly far away from civilization. I shivered, despite the fire, and turned my eyes to look out the window I was sitting in front of. Lightning flashed and I suddenly leaned forward, heart racing. Something wasn't right out there. I thought my eyes had to be playing tricks on me and I anxiously waited for more lightning. I forced myself to calm down, sure that what I had just seen was paranoia brought on by fear. The world was illuminated once again by a bright blast of lightning and my eyes went wide. Mere feet from the window, the rain seemed to bend around the shapes of 3 invisible figures. They stood about 6 feet tall, the rain outlining their still forms. I swallowed hard, waiting for another blast of lightning, and when it came, the shapes remained. They were immobile and I suddenly felt eyes on me, as if they had come with the storm to watch me. I retreated from the window, feeling exposed and afraid, and went and sat on my bed. I was terrified, so shaken by the bizarre forms that I began to have a hard time breathing. I took a few long deep pulls of air, willing myself to settle down. As my heart rate slowed, I started convincing myself that I had imagined the shapes. Between the rain and the dark, it was easy to mistake shadows and shapes that weren't actually there. Just as I was about to get back up, I heard something walking on the roof again. I gripped the sides of my bed as I listened to the heavy footsteps walk closer and then finally stop directly over my head. I crawled between my covers and held my breath, eyes wide in a panic. What the hell was out there? Another flash of lightning lit the sky and I glanced at the window. It was right there, its invisible form parting the rain like a curtain. It was watching me.